Ch1, Transmigration. I feel like I'm floating or something. It feels weird but it also feels comfortable at the same time. And I just want to stay feeling that way. And so I calmly go with the flow. This is the first time I felt this, and I am aware that maybe I'm in a dream but I still didn't open my eyes because my guts told me to not do that, or maybe I just can't. I don't know. Having a good time there, aren't ya? Suddenly I heard an unfamiliar yet majestic voice, but I did not panic and nonchalantly opened my mouth with a HN. Interesting. The majestic voice muttered. I'll be giving you points. You'll be transmigrating as. Yes, that series you dearly love. Every wish you make will deduct your points depending on the wish's power, strangeness, etc. He added. Wow, this dream is weird, huh? I thought while thinking if I am retarded to produce weird-ass dreams like this. Make mare bello fiori a girl. Ha ha ha. Granted. The majestic voice replied. That counted as a wish. Yes. Huh. Because according to the rule book, the first wish or wishes shall be granted no matter what, with only 1 point being deducted. How am I supposed to know that? Without caring, he continued. If your points became negative numbers, then I shall give you a random permanent trait, or sometimes a debuff. And please be quick, you only have minutes left before your transmigration. Wait, what? Transmigration. As the floaty and comfortable feeling is visibly diminishing every second. I also realize that I really can't open my eyes. What the hell is going on? You only have minutes left. Wait. You only have minutes left. He reminded me. And there I can feel my guts telling me that I need to take this more seriously. Moments later. Could I wish to change my first wish? According to the rulebook, it's a no. But you didn't tell me about that rule. You only have minutes left. He repeated like a broken record. Sigh, I already said my wishes and this was the most stressful situation I've been to. I can't even know how many points I used for every wish and can't possibly know if my points become negative points. Hiya. He said that I will be transmigrating as Momonga, so assuming that I would start already in the new world, I based all my wishes on that thought. With very limited time, I was forced to evaluate my wishes by trusting my gut and intuition. But after all of that, why am I even here? I'm pretty sure I'm alive. Moments ago, I entered a bus that would be traveling to my home province and I fell to sleep with my headphones on. Did I die? Time's up. All your wishes have been granted, but with minus 102 points, you will receive 2 negative traits. Gulp, minus 102 points. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? How am I supposed to know that if that stupid rulebook of yours did not allow me to take back my wishes and know how many points for every wish I said? You'll be receiving the permanent trait of greed and lust as a trait. After hearing that, it got me thinking, I'm already a greedy person, but lust? I don't know, it's not my thing. G greed and L lust. Not bad. Before we send you there, I must tell you that you did die. He said. WH what? No way. How? And he dropped another bomb. I'm still in the middle of processing the thing he just said and I blacked out. The arbiters send their regards. Dash 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 dash. I slowly opened my eyes and witnessed a scene that instantly takes my breath away. I am in a grandiose hall. It also seems that I am in a high place after looking down to 7 people kneeling on one knee with their heads bowing deeply. The crystal-like throne that I sat on may look uncomfortable to use, but I can attest that just by sitting, I feel like I'm filled with indescribable power. And then. Arg. I groaned in agony, I felt a sharp pain inside my head. It feels like many things are entering my mind in one go. Memories, feelings, and many more that I don't recognize are flooding my mind. It was sudden, but it was also short. A few seconds later the pain finally subsided. Momonga-sama. I heard a voice that is filled with worry. I looked at the source of the voice just to see a goddess. She wears a pure white dress, with her golden irises and vertically slitted pupils staring at me. A world-class beauty, and the highest-ranked NPC of the Great Tomb of Nazarick made by my friend. Tabula-san. Wait. Friend. Huh. And why a part of me is being sad? And why am I feeling guilt the moment I saw this beautiful goddess? Momonga-sama. Is there something wrong? She said worriedly as she stood up and closed her distance on me. And I can see her cleavage. The strangeness of the situation made me nervous and horny. But then those feelings have been immediately squashed and I can feel that my thoughts are being forced to think as calmly and rationally as possible. How did I realize that? Well, I'm thinking logically after all because I'm undead. Oh. I examined myself once more and holy shit, I'm a bone man, but I also realized that I'm calm and okay with it. Well, it's normal, it's because this is my avatar for years in the game. Yggdrasil. Oh, wait, what? Then it dawned me the words of that mysterious being with a majestic voice said earlier, you will be transmigrating as Momonga. I see. I think I got the gist of the situation. Looking at the banners that somehow filled me with indescribable nostalgia and with occasional memories that are not mine popping up inside my head. I see. So I have absorbed Suzuki Satoru, his memories, feelings. Everything. I am now the amalgamation of my former self and Suzuki Satori. Well, at least that's what I think. Moving my head to look at the 7 NP people that are staring at me worriedly. Yeah, I have been silent for a while now. That might be weird for them. Thanks for your worries, Albedo, but I'm fine now, I said in a regal tone. They seemed unconvinced by it. My deep commanding voice sounds kingly, I like it. Well, it's not like I know how a king should sound like. Sebas. Yes, Momonga-sama. The man in traditional black uniform raised his head and replied. He may look elderly gentle-looking butler but his eyes are sharp. As expected from a dragonoid. I want you to go outside of Nazarick with one of Pleiades and list everything you see, and if you encounter an intelligent life there, avoid engaging them in battle, instead be diplomatic as possible. And also prioritize withdrawal. Understood. For the remaining Pleiades, go back to the 9th floor and continue your duty. Understood, Momonga-sama. They replied in unison. You may fulfill your tasks now. I dismissed them, and they replied with a, yes. Before setting out, leaving me alone with Albedo in the throne room. A part of me is telling me to act as a superior and be majestic, but I think I don't need to force myself to be kingly, because I'm kind of enjoying the feeling of being a superior, while a part of me is uncomfortable with it, but whatever. And then Albedo spoke, interrupting my train of thoughts. Momonga-sama, do you also have orders for this one? I looked at the world-class beauty that is near to me. I am also filled with guilt when I see her. Sorry for tainting your creation, Tabula-san. Wait. I am not even the one responsible for that, why am I feeling guilty? Ehem. Of course. I faked a cough and her expression also beamed when I said that. In 3 hours, bring all the floor guardians here except for the 4th and 8th floor guardians. Understood, Momonga-sama. I shall accomplish your task without fail. She said, filled with determination. Whoa. Calm down. Sigh. I sighed with my non-existent throat. I am now the only one left in the throne room. And also wow, I am a bone man now. It feels weird, but a part of me is also used to it. I am also reorganizing the new knowledge in my head right now. I can vividly recall everything from Suzuki Satoru. Memories, like how he works as a salaryman, and how he spent all his time playing this game, etc. I can't even imagine living in a world like that. Enough of this, time to test some things. So I looked at my bony hands with rings and decided to use the ring of Ainzul gown. I mentally think of teleporting myself to a specific place on the 9th floor, and almost immediately the scenery changes to a domed hall that looked like a theater, and there were 72 niches in the walls. And after doing my thing there, I decided to teleport myself to my suite. Specifically, the bedroom. And I also got to talk with someone via message, and we discussed some things. And now I'm in my bedroom, time to experiment. Thinking about the conversation I just had with a certain great doppelganger, it confirms that one of my wishes has been granted. And so, I just gender bent someone. If it did happen. Oh my god, I won't be coming out of this bedroom. Then before my thoughts that filled me with anxiety continues, it got squashed like nothing and I came back to my calm, rational undead self. Looking at the luxurious-looking king-sized bed in my room. I let go of my staff and decided to jump on it headfirst and sigh. Yua, how can I even face Mare? I'm so sorry, Bukubuku Chigama-san. I sighed again with my non-existent throat. I forced myself to stand up and walk to the mirror in my room to look at my current self. To be honest, I got spooked a little by my reflection, but it didn't last a second since I'm undead and immediately become stabilized. Looking at myself, I can see a roughly 200 centimeter skeleton with a jet black academic gown adorned with golden and violet edges. And yeah, there's also the dark red orb floating in my stomach. So my height is not the light novel version. Then I shifted to look at my eyes are more like empty eye sockets with a dark red glow radiating inside. If that indeed happened. Let's try if one of my wishes is also real. I removed my robe first, and I can see my whole bony body. It's weird. And so. Change form. And instantaneously I transformed. In an instant, flesh magically covered my body and my dreadful aura is gone. I can feel my long silver lustrous yet majestical hair reached my back. A body that I can only describe as perfect. It looks like it had been sculpted by a god. Even having long hair, I don't look feminine at all. My whole look screams manly. I kind of remember Rimuru's male form but with just a perfect muscular body. Looking at my golden-colored eyes in the mirror, 2 streams of tears are falling. And so I sat on the edge of my bed. To be honest, this happened too fast. An hour ago, I'm just vibing on the bus. Excited to get home and see my family, and now I'm here. I'm just a normal guy after all. My life is not sad and depressing. Even though my family is not rich, we're doing fine. I don't have an overly depressing backstory like getting my family killed then focusing my life on avenging them or becoming a mafia or gang leader then driving my father figure into killing himself. It just as normal as it gets. Grow up in the province, then moving to the city to enter university. Got the homies that always back me up, experiencing breakups, having a family that supports me. I wiped my tears and sighed. There's no use thinking of it but to think that I will die just like that. I sighed again. Yes, I'm still a bit attached to my former life. Of course, Suzuki's memories still lingering in my head, it seems that my mind is more dominant, I can only feel sympathetic with his life. So I can't control my emotions if I'm not in my Overlord form, huh? I am just able to handle this whole thing because I'm undead. This is just a lot to take in. The MC is 17 years old and truly resembles a certain real person in personality and age. TheSimp creator's thoughts. 31 comments 0 vote. CH2, Forms 1. I need to get my shit up. I am lucky to be transmigrated to a fantasy world, right? Yeah, right. I will live the way I want. Yep. Yeah. Maybe staying as undead is better. No. I cast away that thought because I need to be mentally strong without relying on an undead racial trait. This form also has its own merits. This wish is by far the most expensive where I think I spent the most wish points. This form is not just giving me a humanoid form, it also has its level. To explain it more, this form is separate from my Overlord form. When I am in my undead form, my racial and job class is different. The levels are also different. This form is not human in the first place. This form is part of the heteromorphic race, angels. Contradictory, right? I have 2 forms with elements that are opposed to each other. And also, did I just mention the difference in levels? This form is far more superior to my other form. To be exact, it's level 200. Yes, you heard it right. This form is level 200, that it's comparable to the strongest boss monsters in Yggdrasil, the world enemies. My racial class is the highest of all angels, a seraphim. In Yggdrasil, players that are focused on min-maxing will not spend a lot of their levels to further the racial class except for role players, but Seraphim is the most unique racial class in the game because to reach its highest and rarest final form, you're gonna invest a lot of levels. A lot. Angels have 9 different racial classes, who are in the right mind would spend that lot of levels. Angels' racial leveling is not part of the norm that follows just these 3, the base, high, and rare procedure. Since I am level 200 in this form, I have no problem being full-on Seraph since I can still min-maxed on my job classes. Yes. My wishes are to have a separate form that has a level of 200 and the special job level of a world champion. It seemed that the entity that sent me here fully know what my wishes are. Bravo. My stats are monstrous. Not bad for not having an emotion stabilizer. My job levels are focused on the warrior classes, but being the highest angel is like being priest-cleric, it's like a mix of divine and alternative magic. My mana is not as high as my Overlord form but it's comparable to an average level 100 mage. I can cast up to 10th tier magic even though it's divine. I am unique since I don't need a faith to cast faith-based magic, it works like normal magic casting on me. My spells are all present because of my racial class. To be exact, I spent 60 levels on my racial levels. Then 100 levels focusing on the min-maxing warrior classes including the special world champion class, then 40 levels in priest-related classes. I have many spells related to divine magic and have some super tier magic too. Since I am level 200, the stats are Let's just say that I believe I could fight at least 25 players that are level 100 or so I think. Now, let's check my items that come with it. I mentally thought of opening an item box and immediately a palm-sized dark, purplish portal that opens up in the fabric of space and time and I put my hand in it. Wow. I am now looking at my reflection in the mirror with golden armor and a well-crafted bastard sword in my right hand. The golden armor has intricate designs all over it, the chest part of the armor has a golden lion face shaped on it, the same with both pauldron. This armor is a world champion class equipment like Touch Me's compliance with law. And my sword is one of the high-tier divine class items. Let's see the wings. I want to see my 6 wings, so I mentally thought of it. And then, whoosh. I have a hunch that my armor is compatible with my wings and immediately 6 white wings sprouted behind my back. Holy s. It's indeed a holy sight. I feel natural with my wings as if it's just a normal part of my body. I manually flap it one by one and have fun with it for a while before retracting it back. So I can hide it, Maybe transmigrating is not that bad, I also realize that I have to go back to the throne room and then change back to my undead form. I wear my robe back and other items. And I can immediately feel that this form is weaker than my other form. Well, that's the difference between level 100 and 200. I'm also amused by the idea of having an undead form that can heal via negative energy and having another that can heal normally. I am a bone man now and I also need to get ready before meeting the floor guardians. There's still 2 hours left before the meeting. 3rd POV. In Megaton. The guardians decided to meet up in the Megaton in 1 hour. Shaltir. You're late. Why? De Arinsu. Why are you late, Shaltir? It's because she stuffed so much there. A tomboyish-looking child with dark skin said while grinning mockingly as she pointed to Shaltir's chest. Her ears are pointed, a signature trait of the Dark Elves. She has golden hair and heterochromia, her left eye blue and right eye green. She wears reddish-black dragon scale leather covered by a white and gold vest embroidered with the sigil. Oh Oni-san. That's. It must be hard to have a crazy older sister, Mare. Aura furrowed her brows as she heard what Shaltir just said while continuing to walk gracefully to them. The 2 that Shaltir just interacted with are the twins. Aura Bellafiora and Mare Bellofiori, the floor guardians of the 6th floor in the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Mare is the younger twin, they have similar appearances, both are dark-skinned and has heterochromia. She wears a blue dragon scale leather full-body suit, covered by a white and gold vest embroidered with a sigil and a forest green leaf cloak and a white skirt. Enough of these nonsense. As he said that, cold air swept the area. We cannot disappoint Momonga-sama. A tall insect looking in pale blue covered in sharp spikes like icicles and shoulders and a back look like uplifted icebergs. He stood at 2.5 meters tall and has the appearance that looks like a fusion of a mantis and an ant with a tail twice as long as his height. He's 4-armed, with one of the hands holds a sliver halberd. Cocytus, the floor guardian of the 5th floor. And also one of the 4 combat specialists of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Like the other guardians, Cocytus is angered by Shaltir's action because they are about to rehearse what to do in the most sacred place of the supreme beings, the throne room. He thought that they should give their best to the last supreme being and their great master, Momonga, to not disappoint him. Shaltir's lateness lessened the time for her to join the rehearsal and failure might happen, and failure is not an option. I need to wear the most appropriate clothing and give my all on making my appearance beautiful for our great master because I also don't want to disappoint Momonga-sama. Shaltir's tone is getting louder and the tension in the air is getting higher. The beautifully dressed short stature of a woman can be described as a true beauty. She has pale shiny skin, seductive crimson red eyes, and fine facial features. Her silver hair is tied in a ponytail through a large ribbon on top of it all, allowing others a full view of her face. She wears a soft black evening dress with a big heavy skirt. Her upper body is dressed in a lace-embellished ribbon and a short tailored jacket. Her hands are donned with long lace gloves, not exposing any bit of skin exterior. But her chest does not fit her appearance. Her name is Shaltir Bloodfallen, the floor guardian of the 1st to 3rd floors in the Great Tomb of Nazarick. She is a vampire of short stature and has the appearance of a buxom 14-year-old girl. Are you saying that we should just go in front of the great leader of all the supreme beings with shabby appearances? She added, but in a much softer tone. It got the guardians to think with, And, she's right. And also Shaltir's lateness is just a single minute. Apologies. Shaltir. As I think of it deeply, I realized That. You're. Right. But, I. Think. Lateness. For. Something. This. Important. Is. Still. Intolerable. Enough, we're wasting time instead of rehearsing. Don't you all think? A man in glasses wearing a British suit with a tie. He dressed like a gentleman, but behind him is a silver tail covered with metal plates and 6 long spikes at the end. Pair of eyes that lack eyeballs, instead it's shining jewels with numerous small cuts take the place of his eyeballs, behind the glasses, which suggest he's not human. He is Demiurge, the floor guard of the 7th floor in the Great Tomb of Nazareth. We should continue the rehearsal, Albedo. You're right, Demiurge. 2 hours later. The large door opened to the sacred place of the Supreme Beings. The Guardians walked in coordination till they reached the bottom of the stairs. They cleanly and respectively genuflected towards the throne and bowed deeply, except Albedo, who typically on the side of their master, a position worthy of jealousy. Even if their great master is not here, they will still respect the whole floor as if their master is present. Moments later, they could hear the door opened again behind their backs. They know who it was, they could feel his aura, that unique only for Supreme Beings. They didn't dare to move nor make a sound, as the sounds of their great master's footsteps and the tapping of his staff resounded the whole room. They also sense that their master is with a company, since there are 2 pairs of footsteps. Still, they kept their heads deeply bowed even though their master finally reached and settled on the throne, and the one accompanying him bowed below the stairs but a little distance away from them. Raise your heads. They heard the regal voice befitting only the leader of all the Supreme Beings. They coordinately raised their heads and they saw a skeleton, but not just any skeleton, it's one that part of the undead's highest order. He's an overlord, wearing an academic robe, jet black academic gown adorned with golden and violet edges. He's holding a staff that only he could wield. He's their great master and the leader of all of the Supreme Beings, and the most merciful that stayed with them. The one that they swore fealty. First, I thank you all for coming here. They heard what he said and it made them happy. We don't deserve your praise. It's our duty as your servants to answer every of your call no matter what. Albedo said, and none of the Guardians opposed her statement. Momonga-sama, it's only natural that you should have doubts about us. After all, our abilities must be minuscule in your reckoning. However, if Momonga-sama gives the order, we, all the Guardians, will accomplish any task set to us, no matter how difficult or arduous, with every fiber of our beings. We hereby swear that we will never allow the 41 Supreme Beings of Ain-Zul-Gaon, our creators, to be disgraced by our actions. This we swear. The floor Guardians chimed in right after Albedo. Their voices were filled with determination, power, and loyalty. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me. TheSimp creators' thoughts. 24 comments, 0 vote. CH3, Forms 2. Whoa. That's the only thought in my head when I witnessed that incredible scene. They are now looking at me with eyes brimming with determination and undying loyalty. If I have hair and skin now, I probably having goosebumps. I am glad to hear that. Anyway, we're in a strange yet dangerous situation, I will need all your help. I said while looking at them. Sebas, could you please explain the situation? With a, yes. Sebas stood, and started explaining what he had seen outside the tomb. So, it did happen, huh? As expected. To think that the entire Nazareth has been teleported to an unknown land. And it also gave the NPCs sentience, but we have the advantage due to the knowledge I have. I had read up to volume 14, hehe. Then Sebas finished explaining, and it's time for me to speak. Excellent work, Sebas. Now that we know the situation, that for unknown reasons, Nazareth has been teleported in an unknown vast plane. I would propose that we must blend with our surroundings by making artificial hillocks, putting a hill on the outer rings of the tomb. What do you think? That's an amazing idea, Momonga-sama. The Great Tomb of Nazareth will surely blend in with the environment, Sebas replied. Then Mare. Why yes. Mare replied in a frightened voice. You're the most suitable for the job, Mare, so you're going to lead the project. Why yes. Momonga-sama. He's scared to me now. Oh. It's, she, now right. I thought in a panic before my emotions had been squashed. Albedo and the other Guardians are of course jealous of their comrade for receiving an order. They also wanted their master will order them too, so they can show their usefulness. Then they once again heard the regal tone of his. Next, I would like to understand the administrative operations of the tomb. Albedo, how is the exchange of security information between the Guardians of the various floors? Yes, Momonga-sama. Each floor is administered by its respective floor guardians, but Demiurge is the overall defense commander and everyone can share information with him. I see. Then, Nazarik's defense commander, Demiurge. Guardian Overseer, Albedo. The two of you will be in charge of drawing up a more comprehensive administrative system for Nazarik. Happiness welled up inside Albedo after being tasked by the man she loves, but of course, she doesn't want it to show, so she suppressed it and replied with a question. Understood. Will the plans for the management include the 8th, 9th, and 10th floors? Yes, but plan the 9th and 10th floor as a whole. I also want to enact a rule that limits everyone's access to the 8th floor. Only those who I permit can enter the 8th floor, so I will undo the seal for the 7th to 9th floors access except at the time of invasions. Understood, Momonga-sama. Albedo and Guardians are confused about why their master limit access to the 8th floor, but they didn't dare to question it. Their master must have something in mind that they cannot hope to fathom. Then their master spoke. Before I dismiss you all. The Guardians are shocked, including Sebas and Albedo, because their great master who was just sitting on his magnanimous throne changed into a humanoid figure. With his lustrous silver hair flowing on the back of his beautiful pitch-black robe, his golden eyes gazing on them with confidence. No lie. But they almost got alarmed by the sudden development, but their senses don't lie. They could feel the presence of the supreme beings, especially the one who had lead the said beings. Momonga-sama. The name had left her lips because there's no doubt that the being who sat on the throne now is the man he truly loves. Only him. They could feel it, she could feel it. What's with your faces? Their master said with a chuckle. So handsome. This is the man I love. Do not worry, my guardians. This is still me. It seems that I have another form. His beautiful voice pulled them back from their thoughts, while they knew already that it's him. This information of their master having this form is new to them, and they are also filled with guilt that they didn't know enough. Their merciful master probably felt their emotion and he added. It's okay, this is also my first time to possess this form. As expected of Momonga-sama. The only being who have stayed with us. They all collectively thought. He probably trying to soothe them. Now. Start doing your tasks and do help each other and do not forget to be on high alert. You are all now dismiss. Understood. They all replied in unison, and then after that, he's gone. While she felt sad that she didn't get to see his handsome form longer, she still needs to do her job as a loyal servant of the Supreme One. And so they coordinately moved out in the throne room. They now have just arrived on the 9th floor after leaving the sacred throne room. Momonga-sama is merciful that he chose to stay with us. That is. Momonga-sama. As expected. Of the one who leads all the supreme being. To be able to see Momonga-sama's glorious form. Ha! Albedo heard the guardians chatted about how glorious and amazing their leader is, and of course, she joined in. Then later a topic aroused. For Momonga-sama to possess such glorious humanoid form, Aura said. Humanoid. That word stuck on Albedo's head for a moment. And she realized what that just meant. This is new information, that we had never heard before from our esteemed creators, Demiurge said while fixing his glasses. That form also radiated more power. Did you also felt that, Cocytus? There's no doubt that they felt the pressure increased in the throne room the moment their great master had changed his form, but that is not the thought that occupied the two certain females in the group. I can. With Momonga-sama. Albedo blushed. That the other form, Albedo. I see. Demiurge, who was discussing with the other guardians, stopped and noticed Albedo. It seems that we also need to decide on something else. He added. Moments later. How bothersome. Demiurge thought. As he looked to Shaltir and Albedo, who are now both in a standoff. They are still on the 9th floor and Sebas had already left. Are you back now, Cocytus? Truly. An amazing future. Cocytus replied as he walked back to his place. Cocytus had just realized the importance of the discussion of the female guardians. The moment he heard the idea of heir of Momonga-sama, he could not help but imagine the future. Are they still not finished? Cocytus said as he arrived beside Demiurge. They are still not. Well, don't worry, both Aura and Mare are there. That's for girls to discuss after all, but still. For you to also have a humanoid form, Cocytus. No doubt. Momonga-sama is behind this. Maybe he wants you to also contribute to the strengthening of the Great Tomb of Nazareth. I see. As expected. Of Momonga-sama. I have to tell Albedo about this to mount an investigation. Anyway, Albedo, Shaltier, are you lot done there? You need to give us tasks, Albedo. They are okay now, Demiurge. Aura said with Mare nodding beside her. They have tired expressions on their faces like they just finished a hard job. Ha, ha, ha. We are not done, but we have concluded for now. Shaltier replied. Ha. Yes. Shaltier, we must talk about this next time on who is going to be the head wife. Likewise. Ha, I sighed. Thankfully my voice didn't crack there. I have just teleported to my bedroom. To be completely honest, my horny meter goes up the moment I saw Albedo, and I am having a hard time trying to get her out in my head. Well, what can I say? I have a big crush on her when I am just a reader. Okay, I need to be put in a horny jail or something. Maybe if I just used my undead form, it would probably be better. But it's also weird to be a bone man. It's hard to describe, but it felt natural and unnatural at the same time. It's weird. Ha, what should I do now? What if other players do exist at the same time as me? Should we just hole ourselves in here? I mused. But Nazareth only had limited resources and we need to gather outside too. While it's okay for me to stay on Nazareth for 100 years, that's a waste of time since other players will appear and we need to focus on strengthening our forces and increase our advantages. The far south also has some abandoned world items. I need to go there. Even in the light novel, the entire continent had not been mapped out yet. And that Sea City, my guts are telling me something about it too. There are also old dragon lords on par with my guardians. And they are dangerous if one does not possess a world item. The Corpus of the Abyss, I would not be surprised if at least a few of them are already an Overlord, but that is wishful thinking and assuming they still exist. Ha, I sighed again. The Carne village is also going to be attacked in a few days. Arg. Let me sleep for a moment. Dash 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 dash. I am awakened by the knock at my door. Holy. I just slept. I hurriedly stood up and fixed my clothes and then opened the door to see Albedo and Shaltier. Bruh. I faked a cough to buy time on my still confused mind. Oh. Of course, I've been transmigrated after all. But to see these two beauties in real life. Truly breathtaking. I still cannot believe it. Ehem. Good morning, Albedo and Shaltier. Apologies. If we have disrupted your rest, Momonga-sama. They both got to their knees and bow in unison. EHW what? Hey. It's okay. Yes. There's no need to be sorry. Both of you did not disrupt anything. After calming both of them, myself included, I decided to have breakfast with the floor guardians, except for the 4th and 8th floor guardians. We are now eating in one of the dining rooms on the 9th floor, and I'm trying my best to not eat barbarically because of the food. Oh boy. My commoner's tongue had never tasted such food before. I think I have already forgotten the list of dishes recited by Sebas. Several maids are on standby. As I stopped my urge to eat like a starving man, I moved my gaze in the long immaculate dining table towards the tall robust man with light cyan hair sitting on one of the chairs. It's Cocytus, in his humanoid form. Why does he have such a form? Well, it's one of my wishes. He's not the only one who possesses such a form. There are others as well. But as you might have thought, he's weaker on this form, some of his racial advantages have been lower, and the worst of all is one of the costs of being on this form is minus 30 levels, or at least his overall abilities have been lowered by 30 levels, but he could just go back to his original form anytime, so there's that. A price for him to be able to reproduce. I thought so proudly. His offsprings will surely be a good addition to Nazareth's forces. So do say, Cocytus, how does it feel to be in a humanoid form? It feels weird and I feel weak without my racial advantages, but thank you for this gift, Momonga-sama. I will surely contribute to strengthening the Great Tomb of Nazareth. He said with fiery determination and undying loyalty evident in his voice. But. How did he know? Demiurge, I guess. But don't say it with such determination while we're eating. 17 comments, 0 vote. Download the app for greater interaction. You can chat with me about my writing experience apart from the comments section. TheSimp. Download app now. CH4, Adventurers Guild. This is the third day and tomorrow will be the day that Carne Village will be burned to the ground. What should I do to prevent it without arousing suspicion of every major power? I also don't want to get Sauce attention. Maybe I should leave. No. Henry will die. I don't want her to die. I sank my back to my comfy chair while pondering about this. Currently, I am in my office that is just outside my room with Albedo and one of the maids named For and some 8 edge assassins. I have already implemented that maid shift system that Ains had implemented in the original story. And as expected, it had met with strong resistance until I had said my reasons for doing so. Anyway, the 41 homunculus maids here are not the same as their original counterparts. Since I had used my wish points to make them stronger, at least. It had always bothered me the fact that they are so weak, so I had used some wish points for them to be at the level of 65, and the Pleiades at 85. What are their skills and how that, God, arranged for them? I don't know, but looking at For's equipment. It's relic class huh? Is there a matter Momonga-sama? For said while flustered. Her appearance is that of a young woman with yellowish bobbed hair and green eyes and wearing a maid uniform. I've been looking at her for a while now. I was flustered too, but that didn't last a second before getting squashed, since I am on my Overlord form now. Oh. 4, forgive me for not knowing, but I'm curious about what are your job classes are. And no need for apologies Momonga-sama. She hurriedly said while flustered. I am level 65 priest. And she explained more about it in detail. I see. Albedo. Yes, Momonga-sama. The beautiful goddess replied that stood on my side. List all the 41 maids and their abilities, it seems that my memory cannot remember their abilities at all. Understood, Momonga-sama. Woo, good job me for the save. Thank the heavens that I am in my Overlord form, if not. I don't know what will happen. One of the reasons that I am in my undead form, even though it's uncomfortable for a bit, is because of Albedo, because I tensed up like a grade schooler every time their crushes are around. And also that lust negative effect on me. I am worried about my libido to be uncontrollable. So being in this undead form is the safest option. Well, I think I got better with the situation I'm in now. I think I am starting to familiarize myself with this kind of environment. Then a knock on the door could be heard, and For headed to the door to open it and peek it outside to know who was on the other side. It's Demiurge-sama, Momonga-sama, For said. Let him in, I replied. And so Demiurge came inside the room and walked in front of my desk and got down on one knee. There's no need to stand in ceremony Demiurge, since I have called for you to come here. After Demiurge replied in the affirmative, the discussion will commence. Yesterday I talked with the 2 geniuses of Nazarick about my plans. I proposed to establish an intelligence agency under the 3 geniuses of Nazarick. The mission is to extract information from neighboring nations and so on and infiltrate their ranks. The idea is to use only mercenary NPCs for the mission. Doppelganger has been selected to be the best candidate monster for the operation. And so, a large amount of usage of summoning books, gold, and other materials have been used. For now, over 30 operatives have been already summoned and receiving their briefings. The doppelgangers that have been picked are level 40 with 5 racial class, 5 classes related to acting, and 30 classes related to stealth and assassination. We are planning to summon over 80 operatives. And now is the talk about some other things. As expected of Momonga-sama, to have thought this far ahead. This one is truly in awe. Demiurge said with Albedo supporting his colleague's statement. I am just blabbering some stuff, right now. Is it all worth praising? Are you guys mocking me? I thought before looking at the both of them. Please don't think so highly of me. I thought inside my head after seeing their genuine expressions. Anyway, Albedo, did you get what I have asked you yesterday? Yes. Momonga-sama. According to the chief librarian, we currently possessed 40 level 85 Overlord available for summoning. And 10 for level 90 Overlord. Albedo goes on to explain the numbers of each Overlord variant. For level 85, we have 20 Overlord General, 15 Overlord Wiseman, and 5 Overlord Chronos Master. As for level 91s, we have 5 Overlord General, 3 Overlord Wisemen, and 2 Overlord Chronos Master. I had said yesterday that I want to summon every Overlord since it's a waste for them to be stuck in the library. Overlords are part of the highest order of undead, and also the most intelligent who reach their peak. They are wasted to have stayed there since we need to strengthen our forces anyway. Why not summon them and let the Overlord generals in charge of summoning permanent undead to bolster our forces and use their intellect for the greater future of Nazarick? While their intellect is one step below the 3 geniuses of Nazarick, they are still geniuses and 1,000 times intelligent than me. I also plan to dominate every intelligent undead on this world like Elder Liches and Night Liches, but undead domination is quite limited, so I'll use my mercenary overlords for that. One of the things that I have learned in the novel is that natives of the New World have the opportunity to grow, and some mechanics are not available to us but available to the natives of this world. I would rather dominate undead since they are typically loyal to those of higher order and use them for technological and magical research, etc. But before that, mercenary NPC tends to be loyal to the ones who personally summoned them, so I'll summon them personally. Just in case. The Dragon Lords of the Old are the most worrisome in this world. They are strong and have a magic of their own called wild magic. They are very difficult to fight without a world item. And so this is why we need to proceed with great caution, Demiurge said while pondering. And that's why we need to bolster our forces. As expected of the one who leads the Supreme Beings. Albedo added. I sighed. I had provided the knowledge to the both of you who are the geniuses of the great tomb of Nazarick because I know you both could plan for the benefit of Nazarick. After saying that, the both of immediately fell on one new bowing on me. For your esteemed self to task us. Is it only natural for us to offer our body to your use? We will do only our very best to be up to your expectations. Both of them said. There's no need for this. Really. I knew the both of you could do this. But first, we are going to gather more information about this world. And then discuss it with the other guardians with also the addition of Pandora's actor and the 50 overlords I have summoned. Yes. And now. I want to talk about something that I want to do. I want to head in that fortress city. Burned villages. I am currently using the mirror of remote viewing and have seen a couple of villages that are razed to the ground. Sebas. I said after stopping my surveillance of a certain village. Yes, Momanga-sama. The butler replied, he is beside me since earlier. I've been practicing using this item for a while now. Demiurge and Albedo already left to their tasks. So only Sebas and the maid assigned to serve me is here now. I want you to keep on watch in this village and call me when it is attacked. Understood. Prepare units with stealth abilities and a bunch of 8-edge assassins, and establish a parameter in that village and report to me if you some suspicious people. On which he replied in affirmative. Anyway, are the selected Pleiades are ready? Yes, Momanga-sama. Excellent. I had proposed to both Albedo and Demiurge that I want to go to that city. As expected, it was met with resistance, especially by Albedo, who insists that the guardians must be with me. Well, I told them about my plans. But to be honest, I'm doing this because I felt I am gonna be useful. Or so I think. I don't want to stay at Nazarick and stamp papers all day long. I want to experience this world too. Even to some extent. Yosh. Let's go. The fortress city of Irantel. Irantel is divided into 3 zones, separated by the walls of the city. Protected by 3 layers of city walls, it is known as the fortress city due to its appearance. The zones between each layer have their unique characteristics. The middle zone was where people lived and the Adventurers Guild could be found. The outermost walls are used by the Re-Estais Kingdom's military and have all the necessary military armaments. The innermost wall houses the administrative zone. This zone has its warehouses for food and is heavily protected by soldiers. The zone in between those 2 areas is the residential area for civilians. The city has several plazas within this zone, with the biggest one called the Central Plaza. Lots of people set up their shops there, laying out all sorts of vegetables, spices and other sorts of merchandise. Today, the middle zone is bustling as usual until the 3-figure appeared to be heading to the Adventurers Guild. People's breaths are taken away not only because of the 2 beautiful young women but also because of the man in front of the 2. A man in full-plate black armor with a bastard sword on his right. Standing 200 centimeters tall and walking in confidence in the street. No one dared to block their path. Oi, did you know 'em? Adventurers. They are new faces here. Yeah. But see that copper plate? Shish. See that armor? It might be noble. Right. Inside he ran tell Adventurers Guild. Currently, the guild is kind of quiet because of the 3 people who had entered the place. They seemed to register there. After a couple of minutes later, the 3 of them emerged with copper plates close onto their necks. PFF'd. Tease. Only copper plates. Thoughts similar to this appeared in the minds of adventurers present. While they don't always mock those on lower ranks, it's still worth envious gazes, especially that guy in full plate. And, he might be a son of a noble. Hey. Is that daddy's gift? Said one of the silver-ranked adventurers, and the entire place exploded into laughter. Nobles may be rich, but in the end, they still don't hold power over adventurers, and the nation of Re-Estais itself doesn't support adventurers. Instead they are pulling them down, or at least the nobles do, to be accurate, so the hatred against nobles is normal with adventurers. Similar mocking things have been said, but it didn't last long and the Adventurers Guild mood came back to normal as it always be. The black-haired girl is so beautiful. She's not from here, isn't she? That brown-skinned girl is my type. One of them said while looking at the girl with red hair that wears what seems to be a warrior's armor and a mace. Then one of the gold-ranked adventurers approached the black-haired beauty. They didn't hear what he said to her, but the atmosphere in the guild suddenly changed. Oh oi. Whoa. He lifted him with just. The tall man full-plate black armor lifted the gold-ranked adventurer with only one hand on the guy's neck. What did you say? They could hear the cold voice of the man in full-plate armor. The gold-ranked adventurer struggled on his hold, flapping his feet like a pathetic fish. Momen-san. The numerous staff of the Adventurers Guild hurriedly go there to defuse the situation, and the man named Momen finally released his hold. Thud. You treated your juniors like these, huh? I hope this is the last time you'll do something like this, or else. Suddenly the senses of adventurers go to the highest level. The sudden pressure is suffocating and their senses are ringing, telling them to run as far as they can. And then, it's suddenly gone. Like nothing happened. Apologies. Now, let me do the request I got. He said before leaving the guild with those 2 beauties trailing him. The silence occupied the guild for a couple of seconds. What the hell? Is that? Said one of the adventurers. To be honest, they don't know. But that, killing intent, is not an illusion. Mithril. And no doubt, no, orichalcum maybe. I almost jizz my pants there. One said with a nervous chuckle. That guy is strong. 12 comments, 0 vote.